Chapter 30. 15.Yrs old, 8, you are listening at novelfull.audio. Yoshi, it's done. I entrusted the production of the live otoms to Giselle and Sebi and I carved a large otom. It's over 2 meters. The upper part was carved with a tree stump. It's a huge tree cut into a thin shape. I worked hard. Let's call it Yama.San II. Yama.San II is not a living otom. It is not a feudal tree, but another kind of tree used. Shibi helped me to cut the tree. Yama.San II is something like a scarecrow for protecting this smoky leaves field. I can see that no swell will come to harassment. After building a no.entry signboard, I plan to let this Yama.San II to guard this area. As it is dangerous, so I did not attach any attack function, but anyone being chased by this big size of otom they would normally run away. There is no problem with cultivating smoky leaves in the forest. Originally, opening is encouraged. It seems that there are few lands suitable for agriculture in this Marin settlement. In the land where magic trees have grown for a long time, the components in the ground are biased. Therefore, even if you just cut the forest, you cannot grow crops as you think. Alchemy has been expanding land for a small number of farms by generations, but that is also a resurgence. It grows wildly, there are quick-breeding magical herbs and if anyone don't care for a while, it will soon be lost to geology. As long as you are free clearing, there is nothing to be said about smoky leaves cultivation. Most of all, they only care about the woods of the forest, so there is no need to do anything to fertilize the land compared to crops. I give magic power on a special soil, but that's it. I don't have to burn it or burn it all up. After the adult ceremony and the war about smoky leaves settles down, I will try to combine otoms to make a tractor. I am confident that I can expand Marin tribe's farmland more than 10 times. I do not need so much. It is likely that the chief will stop me. I tried to stroke the head of Yama.San II. I stretched, but I couldn't reach it. Yep, dependable. If it chased without knowing anything, ordinary people will escape first. Well then, let's go back to making the live otom of smoky leaves. Thinking so, when I tried to find an affordable feudal tree, Shibi came to my view who fell asleep by holding otom. I put my hand on Shibi's shoulder and shake it. Shibi, get up. Here, quickly. It's a little late than planned. Please. Shibi wakes up with a pretty face. Oh, did he slimmed a little? Abel.San, isn't it already enough? I've never seen so many otoms lined up outside of Abel.San's garden. I have heard that for making smoky leaves the most difficult part is to take care of otoms. Enough. It's not even close. We need to change the conditions little by little and need to keep track of which went well. These numbers are not enough at all. We are behind schedule, isn't it because of Abel.San put too much effort into making security otom? It can't be helped. Because I'm a perfectionist. Come on, carve it. Carve it. It's a lifetime request. I will do what I can do. So I'm carve it for now. Low or high waist? Well then. Giselle.San. It is impossible, I said anything, but it is something I can do. I cannot afford to involve my sister. I'm leaving now. I'm tired. As I lie down, I glanced at Giselle sculpting an otom and then hid my voice. Shibi, I did not explain to you, if this time smoky leaves did not go well Giselle will be married into the Calco family. If the Calco family moves seriously, that is possible. If I say strongly, it is possible that my family will be isolated in the village. Of course, if they really set up such a thing, I will also go all out in a fierce and reckless moves without choosing any means. At that time it will not end with just smoky leaves war. Between me and no swell, one of us will become laughing stock and cannot walk in this village. Is that true? Yes, so please, Shibi. I tried to bow my head and stopped moving. Even in this village there is a culture that bows the head. There is, but there is something heavier than that. I closed my eyes and tried to cross the air with a hand with one hand, as I did Shibi doing it well. I hope it cannot be seen as a joke. I understand. You don't have to do that. What are you doing? Brother. Please drop your hand. Not only Shibi, Giselle who sculpted an otem put down wood cutting knife and came to stop me. Still, I could not grasp what this means within the Marin tribe. I also think it's bad, Shibi. But I need that Yama-san the second too. Yama-san the second. It's about that big and slender otem that my brother made. As expected of Giselle. Even though I hadn't taught her its name yet, she seemed to have guessed it somehow. That's right, Shibi, I have a special drink, want a drink? Sleepiness will fly away and you can keep working like a machine for 24 hours or 70.2 hours. When the effect is out, you will suffering a little. Of course, I also brought able potion. The performance has been rising steadily as the prototypes are piled up. Although the side effects have also jumped up in proportion to it. However, since the grass that can be harvested within the village is the main ingredient, it is hard to see the limit of performance improvement soon. In the past year, development has progressed only to reduce side effects. That please spare me. It somehow feels like something that is going over the line that one should never cross as a person. Shibi shakes his head while making his face blue. Well, I see. It is only a temperament, should I use the magic of fatigue recovery? Chapter 31 15.ys old, 9, you are listening at novelfull.audio. Third day since I started making Smoky Leaves Field. A row of otem close to 50. And Yama-san second and third who protect them. Well, I had a hard time. It is difficult to manage if the scope becomes too wide, so we have replanted the living otems and consolidated them in one place. Thank you, Shibi, Giselle. After this, all we have to do is just wait for it to work well. No, if I compared with Giselle-san, this is nothing. Shibi was talking to Otem. Is he really okay? On the second and third days, he should not have taken a good sleep. Did I use him too much in my sense? If I am successful in growing the smoky leaves, I will give him a good return. I also have a headache because of the side effects of potion. I feel nauseous. I just want to go back and take a rest. And, when I turned to the return route, I saw someone coming to this side. There are 3 people. Sure enough, they are the ones from before. Oh, that the front one, isn't he the only son of the Calco family? Shibi speaks while staring at the 3 group leader Noswell. Until a while ago he was taking to Otem, but it seems he have finally returned to sanity. He should have heard that we did not go home, so he thought we were suspicious and came to see our situation. I do not know what kind of measures the Calco family will take. My future depend on how the other side reacts here. I slapped my cheeks and charged my spirit. Ha! No way, you were doing something like this. You are stupid than I thought. I look at Noswell and then look at the behind 2 tails. After shaking their shoulders, they turned their eyes around. Go home already. Every time, what do you do following him? Well, what is it for this time? What is it for? Do not play dumb. What, how many otems do you have? Is it okay for me to think you are challenging my house? Hey! Noswell narrows his eyes and approaches me. Ah, what are you guys? Do you think that you will be fine by selling fight to Able.san? Shibi screams and comes out in front of me. Then I glared 3 people one by one. Shibi is pretty strong compared to me or Giselle. Well, I felt like that when I first met. By his saying of just now, it's like he is saying about the threat of the tiger. Noswell laughs with his nose at Shibi's words. Two people behind him shake their heads like fan. Seeing that, no swell hits their head. I reached out and get in between the two while stopping Shibi. Not really, there is no rule to not to cultivate smoky leaves. If there is no rule, you can do whatever you do. Remember those words, okay? Challenging my house, you don't think you can get away easily. By smirking, no swell returns the way he came. Today he pulled back early than I thought. Can I go home already? One of the two asked Noswell as if he is relieved. Oh, since I warned, it's fine now. I was convinced after seeing that amount of odoms. It is an idea of a foolish idiot who has not thought about anything. By disappointing, he would have moved forward without thinking ahead. Noswell turns his back to Napo, then deliberately shrugs his shoulder. Then he looks back this side slowly. Let's leave them alone. Well, why don't you think? Who is going to make so many odoms and get someone's to help with the magic supply? I hope he will do well with that smoky leaves field. I hope he'll get along well. I'm looking forward to it. Abel.Cohen. Then, let's go back. Is magic supply. What am I missing? Seeing sideways, Shibi had a bluish face. After seeing off Noswell with two people leaving with a quick and fast pace, I asked Shibi. What, those guys, what were they thinking? That face, did you find something? Oh, that's it. That three people, they will probably call on other villagers not to help us. What should we do? Even without help, I thought that I could manage myself in the future, but, could common sense be underestimated? It's something that even Shibi understands, so it's not going to be a professional story either. What do you mean? Don't you know? There is a place where smoky leaves are grown in the back of the house of the Calco family, but it seems that the supply of magic power is done every morning by hiring nearly 30 people with good magic control. Those things consume too much magic. It is not something one or two people can do. Yup. So if you can't gather people, you'll soon be overwhelmed by loss of magic power. That's not something Abel.San saying. Certainly, it has been difficult to collect talented people who can supply magic power in the smoky leaves cultivation. A live odom will die soon after the enchantment of the food is exhausted. It will die if you miss the supply even for a day. It is one of the reasons why smoky leaves cultivation does not spread. I heard that even when Rietta's family is cultivating smoky leaves, they still bow their heads down for the staff of Calco family. I see, so that's why he did act so generous. It was good to understand the reason. What should we do? The people who can supply magic power are limited. Most of them are supposed to be people who have a strong connection with the Calco family and they will not be able to come to you because you asked them. Shibi, calm down. I can't calm down. How are we going to do this? No, it was useless. Like this, Giselle.Chan will. Yes. Alright, his house, let's blow away his house. It is the quickest and clearest. At this time, let's say that is what I did. So let's do it. Hey, Shibi. Oh, yes. My dad, he is pretty dexterous. Let me help. There are many people who have a grudge against the Calco family, I know them. If there is cooperation between them, people who will follow me should come out. It is inevitable that it will be important, but it will be war if it is war. Shibi. What is it? Why does Abel have a calm face? Because I can do it alone, so be relieved. Underestimate me, it's troublesome. If it is this scale, my magic alone is enough. There will no problem if it is about 10 times wider. No, it was good. It seems that Noswell will not disturb anymore. Let me do what I like. Chapter 32. 15.Yrs old, 10, you are listening at novelfull.audio. After a while, I took Giselle to the smoky leaf field in the forest. Once every 3 days Shibi also followed me. Sometimes I pass by Noswell on the way. While grinning he asked me, "How is the smoky leaf field?" I answered him randomly. Every time, he laughed with satisfaction. He should be thinking that, I'm having difficulty. If he misunderstood, that's fine. I want him to keep thinking that way. If the other side makes move, I don't know how far it will go. One day, Noswell said to me, "If you give your sister up and apologize to me, I can forgive you for being against my family. You are going to be my wife's family, so I don't want to do such a terrible thing." If there wasn't one of the two Torimaki Nappo, who got excited while screaming and knocked Noswell, I was going to beat him. It was dangerous. If I don't calm down. Thank you, Nappo. If I was hitting Noswell here, I might have been driven to a disadvantage. I don't want to stimulate silent Noswell. After that, Noswell strangled Nappo's neck, but I'm sorry, but it's not my concern. While attending, I increased the number of otoms. As I watched their growth, I started to realize that if I could fix here and there. Once I noticed, I couldn't help but increase it. I also found magic to grow plants quickly. It was quite complicated, so it was difficult to grow the whole as a whole, but with this, I raised a characteristic sample and looked at it. However, the nature may change, so it is just a look at the situation. Recently, I often meet Philo on the road to the forest. I see you again. Every day you go to the forest every day. What's wrong? You hate hunting, but it's unusual. What are you doing here every day? What? No, I have an errand that my grandfather gave me. What is with that face? Next time, should I ask Chief about it? It was a secretly asked thing, that doesn't concern you. I'm the who is questioning. What are you going to do? What is it? Is it something important for you to change the subject? She was worried that I was going to the forest and may have been waiting for me on the road. She might have guessed that I was having feud with Calco family. The story may get complicated if they think Chief may be related, so I did not tell Chief about this matter. So, I'm not going to talk to Philo about it. It may be useless by seeing Noswell's action. The Chief may also be worried about me. Perhaps that Philo asked by Chief may not be a lie. Sorry for making you worry about me. I'll explain to the Chief over time. I am asking, isn't it fine to not leave me out? Besides you two, there were times when other guys followed you. Why is it just me? Philo gets smaller and sits down at a corner. I didn't mean to do that, but let's see. Besides, I'm not worried about you. If I let go of my eyes, you would have done something ridiculous, so I just confirmed. It's fine already. Philo dyed her white cheeks red and ran away. Although she always talked to me with an atmosphere that seems to have been blatant way, I can shake it off by thinking Philo was not honest. I think it's bad, but it can't be helped. It might be advantageous if the Chief's granddaughter was together, but that would be annoying. I will explain it later. After 2 weeks have passed, the smoky leaves harvest started. I embraced Giselle and shared my joy with a high touch with Shibi. I kicked off Shibi trying to hug the Giselle in confusion. His movement stopped, but Shibi seemed to have no damage. Shibi is strong. If I dry them near my house, it is more likely to enter Noswell's ear. So I decided to dry them in a sunny place in the forest. It was a little quick, but I carved the smoke pipe with a wood carving knife. Since I'm used to otom carving, something like this easy. After I painter it with the paint mixed with demon beast blood, then it's completed. With this it will not be burned easily. I decorated it with a dragon statue. This is cool. Shibi seems to be stuck, so I carved a smoke pipe with a shimuparat decoration. He had a complicated face. 1 week has passed. Soon my adult ritual is near. In general, it takes 10 days to dry smoky leaves. It should be enough to try to smoke for a test. I crushed the dried smoky leaves and put them into smoke pipe. Smoke rises when a small fire is lit by magic. I think the smell is pretty good. I put my mouth on the opposite side and tried to suck it. Cough. After all, I'm not used to this smoky feeling. I tried to try the Calco family, but the result was the same. It will not fit with my constitution. I will not get addicted to it. However, it is also a problem that I do not know the taste. Once I have asked my father to say about delicious point of smoky leaf, and theoretically I aimed for it, but I am a little scared of what the person who smoked actually thinks. I want to try and suck it. Ni-sama, please lend me your Kaizel. Kaizel equals smoke pipe. No, it's still too early for Giselle. It's bad, but I don't intend to let Giselle suck it. Honestly, I've a little aversion towards smoky leaves. I think that it is bad for body because of my previous life. Fortunately, at an adult ceremony only men smokes the smoky leaves. Let Giselle endure at least until she is 20 years old. When I think that my younger sister is blowing something like cigarettes, I feel a little caught as an older brother. Is that so? Oh, then you just need to get a little bit. I want to taste the atmosphere. Why are you longing for such an adult-like thing? Apart from that, no, that's right. It seems to be puberty when I want to stretch my back. Can't be helped. When I tried to wipe the smoke pipe with a cloth, I was stopped by the Giselle. You can leave it as it is. It will return it soon. You really just want to smoke the smoky leaves, right? Is that right? But, what about the taste check? Shibi too should not be familiar with the taste of smoky leaves. I will never let Giselle smoke. For the time being, the target point was clearly kept, but I would like to make a final confirmation. So far, I don't want to get adults involved. If it fails, the damage is great. I and Giselle are children who have not yet finished their adult rituals. Noswell's parents will not try to get rid of us. However, if possible, I would like to hear the impressions from people who are used to it. As a result of worrying, I came up with a way to replace my father's smoky leaves secretly. I decided to go back and experiment. When my father went to the bathroom, I opened a small box filled with smoky leaves and threw away the contents outside. Instead, I put homemade smoky leaves in it. Moo, today's smoky leaves nice. Is there a difference in taste? Yeah. Well, the quality will change depending on the storage conditions. Also, there will be some differences depending on the position of the leaves, individual differences in the trees, and the weather also plays a role. Someday you will also understand. I felt like what he was saying seemed out of place, but it seems to be fine, so it seems to be okay. In adult ceremonies, acquaintances of fathers and closely related people are present. As I am also a disciple of the chief, and there are many people who come for the sake of the chief. So, let's advertise homemade smoky leaves, take it to the exchange square and let it spread in large quantities. Chapter 34. Elegant Day of the Carlco Family, Side. Noswell, you are listening at novelfull.audio. Noswell looks through the window to the backyard. In the backyard, there are people who are eagerly supplying the Ortums with magical energy in the incense leaf pipe field. Supplying magic to Ortums is hard labor. Many people get sick due to excessive consumption of magical power. Of course, the Carlco family doesn't do that. If you're watching like this at Noswell, that's all. The competent ones make initial preparations, heavy labor hires people. It doesn't change in any land, not just in the Marin villages. A book in the Carlco family had that kind of thing. It looks like it's tough. Papa, I don't need to participate in that anymore, right? Noswell says with a yawn and asks his father, who was sitting at the same table. Noswell's father lifted his mouth from the Kaizel he had mouthed and exhaled a huff of smoke. Oh yes. You don't have to do that anymore. Just concentrate only on the carving of the Ortum. Noswell had also helped supply magical power to Ortam a few times. My father told me to get the hang of it, too. I didn't want to do it again. That, every single day I do properly. Is there something strange about it? Don't say that. Even with all that, it's a lot more efficient than going hunting every day. Heh, is that how it is? Yeah, that's still pretty good treatment. After all, I'm a nice guy. You're joking again. Noswell grinned grimly and denied his father's words. It's not like I've turned against them. My father also said so on the assumption that he would be denied. In the backyard, there was a man walking in the field of incense leaf in the backyard with unconstrained steps. That man is called Eligio. Eligio had previously tried to grow an incense leaf independently from the Carlco family. In the end, it seemed that he left because the Ortam would soon die, but if you leave them alone, the next one will come out again. I have to take some form of retaliation. Well, that's just the public stance. In fact, it has a strong implication. This Marin village had less entertainment. With supplies readily available and everyone around them doing their bidding, the Carlco family occasionally wants to play something a little different. Eligio knew that his actions were to be alienated from the Carlco family. At one point, I also withdrew from the magic power supply work of the Carlco family's Ortam, but I pressed back around forcibly so as not to go hunting with Eligio. Eligio, who had no experience in hunting for a long time, could not perform efficient hunting without a companion. In addition, he was the one who was supporting his family. Eligio is now proficient in supplying magic power to his Ortam, which is 3 times the normal per person, even though he is seen with white eyes around him. They pile it on top of that, and then add a few accusations to reduce the price. Eligio, who used to be said to be the best young man in the village, does not have that image now. Whenever someone calls out to me, I startle and shake my shoulders. Noswell came face to face with his father and they both laughed. A laugh of a single loss of interest in Eligio. It was that much entertainment for them. Oh, come to think of it, tomorrow is apparently Abel's coming-of-age ceremony. Can I go out for a bit and have some fun? Naturally, I'm not going to celebrate. It's meant to be harassment. Abel. You see, the eldest son of the Barek family. He's Giselle's brother, the one I nominated for a wife. He's going to be my brother-in-law, so we should celebrate him. He said such a heartless thing blankly, laughed with Namari, and looked at his father's face. But my father's face was frowning. I told you to take the incense leaf to the exchange square tomorrow. Like that, should leave that to someone else, you should have some experience, too. Besides, tomorrow's one is the new one I'm talking about. It's going to be a big day for us Carlco family. It's all about distribution and publicity. I don't want you, my heiress son, standing in front of me. Besides, I'll sell as much as I can and burn off anything I receive in exchange that doesn't last. It's too much to consume anyway. It's going to be somewhat repugnant. I don't mind the rumors, but I don't want to underhandedly bite another house and spill the unwanted flame from there. Normally, it is better to receive them in metal or cloth if possible. There are more food items than ever before. This time, however, the primary purpose is to promote the new film. Anyway, it will be important to conclude many negotiations. I'm telling the Rieta family to stop the distribution of the incense leaf. I'm also refraining from sending the incense leaf to the exchange plaza. Tomorrow's plaza will sell a few new products and soon I'm sure there will be a line. I'm not bad at first, but I'll never do anything extra. I understand, Dad. But you don't want me to bite another house, so you want me to do it on my own. There were 2 people who were sticking to you. That unreliable-looking little guy and the wooden stick. If it's just about selling the smoke leaves and carrying the consideration they received, I can use those too. I had a friend help me with that. Yes. I wanted to ruin it. What Noswell, do you have a problem with me? No, that's not the case. He reluctantly replied and agreed. The Marin's coming-of-age ceremony is held from morning to noon. The Exchange Plaza will also be busy in the afternoon. You don't have to take the place. Just let them clear out and take position. The Carlco family is in a position to do that. So, I'm just gonna break the air with my face. Then Noswell shook his head. The harvest and preparations take a long time. My father says that you should experience the arrangement in a way. Suddenly, Noswell put his hand on his chin. Tomorrow is the day for the new movie. I can never fail. The amount of distribution is small, and the Rieta family is prohibited from appearing. That's why they'll sell like smoke and leaves. For some reason, those 2 points stuck with me. I had a bad feeling about this. I didn't feel like I was missing something. This time, we will use this as a foothold to connect the incense leaf with our Marin people more strongly, and I'll kick off that ugly old man and become a new patriarch. I'm ready for it already. My father left, saying so. His voice was trembling with excitement that he breathed loudly and laughed loudly. Daddy to be the chief. Yes. The first step is your face. Don't make a mistake. There's no cause to fail, but don't make a big mess. Yes. Yes. The anxiety that had been growing on Noswell until a while ago disappeared with this excitement. The next day, they did not know that an extraordinary rival would appear. Chapter 35. 15 years old, 11, you are listening at novelfull.audio. The coming-of-age ceremony went off without a hitch. Originally, it wasn't a very long ritual. I drank a soup of boiled plants that are said to be resistant to spells, carved ortams and sang songs in spirit languages, and played my own flute to pray to the spirits of my ancestors. To those who come to the ritual, I will wave the meat of the demon beast I finished off. However, there are a lot of people, and it's just a formality. I almost ended up just handing out bite-sized meat. I'm sure there's a significance to showing that you've become a full-fledged member of society. And finally, it's over with a cross with the opposite hand against the sky. High day with a kissel in one hand. The whole event took a little over 2 hours. It starts in the morning and ends around noon. There were about 40 people who participated in the event. Some of them didn't know much about me. I don't have many acquaintances, but my father's face is generally wide. I'm glad that the chief, who usually doesn't go out at all, took the trouble to go out. After the coming-of-age ceremony is over, I keep Kissel away. How awful. It's like smoke. The smell is good, but it's not likely to get used to it. Now you too are a member of the adult Marlin tribe. From now on, you're going to be a little more careful about what you hear, and you're going to study magic to a lesser extent, and you're going to hunt. My father gave me permission a long time ago to use magic while I was hunting. Somehow, my father gave in. That's why helping with the hunt is alright, but, when it comes to magic I don't think I can hold back. Be that as it may. Excuse me, father, please lend me a hand. My clothes are too heavy, I can't move. May I take it off? Geez, can't you say more softly? In the coming-of-age ceremonies, special ceremonial garments must be layered on top of each other, as well as thick ornaments on the head. This is heavy. The inside of my clothes is all sweaty. Wah, I'll give you a hand, big brother. Thank you for your hard work. I'm sorry, geez, my strength. After that, I was going to handle the incense leaf at the Exchange Square. Is tomorrow all right? I want to sleep already today. I want to hold the ortam and lie down slowly. I was taken by Giselle and fluttered into the shadow of the building. Congratulations. I guess this means that Zeal's boy is now a full-fledged member of the family. Ah. Guria-san, thank you. Thank you for coming. It was Shibi's father, Guria, who came near while clapping. But that's the state of the affair, and it looks like a new marriage. And when is the ceremony to be held? Giselle turns bright red to her ears at Gallia's light words. I bury my face in my raggedy outfit, trying to hide my blushing face. Huh, don't make fun of me too much, Garia.san. Oh, is that so? Garia looks unconvinced and touches his chin. Sure, it may seem a little too close if you look from the outside, but I don't think there will be any reaction. She was always saying able this able that, but where did Shibi that idiot go? No, I'm really sorry. He suddenly disappears. No, actually, I asked for it myself. Asked? Yes, I had some business to attend to, but I was stuck at the coming of age ceremony. I'm sorry. No. Oh, my God, it was Abel, that makes sense. If that's the case, he should have told me too. So, what business is that? I don't like how you are convinced, but... However, up until now, I've asked Shibi to do many things, so, I don't know what to say. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. This is it. As I say, I shake the kissel lightly. The smoke scattered about. I thought it smelled strange. Don't tell me that, you made it yourself. I heard you are doing something. Shibi also did not say anything, so I thought you gave up. I wanted to mass produce them all at once, so I asked them to lie down as much as possible. Now, I'm asking Shibi to transport, pick up space, and collect information. Really, I'm sorry again. Ha ha ha. Finally, Abel has made it that far. If you make too much, you might get noticed by the Karlko family. Just be careful. It's okay. I'm only making enough for 3 people to manage. This is good, a masterpiece. I see. Hey, don't you have a spare something now? Garia laughed wildly, and so came to me. There is. How do you like it? Okay, so I'm customer number 1. Garia takes out the ore containing the magic circle from inside his clothes. It's like a currency substitute, with the chief guaranteeing value. I was actually going to give them out to the people who came to see me. With a thank you and then a publicity. It's like a trial product, so there's not a lot of it. See, that's what's in that burlap sack over there. Aren't you making a lot of food? You're gonna be okay, right? Between you and me, those guys are insidious, so watch out for them. Garia erases her smile and gives a hushed word of advice. But it's too late. We know that the Karlkos are stingy, and they're already ready to go. We are already prepared to continue to sell on the cheap. I didn't want to move much because of my messy outfit, so I asked Giselle to get a burlap bag for me. I took out a cloth-wrapped fragrant incense leaf and handed it to Garia. When Garia received the incense leaf, he crushed it with his fingertips and put it in the kissel, then used his magic to light a small fire. After exhaling the smoke, "Whoa!" he said with admiration. "Hey! This is great. You looked really unpleasant during the coming of age ceremony, so I thought it was tasteless. I'm a little bad at smoking. Hey, Abel. San. Abel.san, there's a problem." As I and Galia were talking, Shibi broke in. "Hey, Shibi. You didn't tell me, yikes. Father. Hey, come back later, please. We're in trouble right now. It's hectic. Why are you here?" "The place is, I have an acquaintance taking over for me, so I'm fine." "No, it may not be fine, my judgment is somewhat helpless, so if you're done, please come early." "Which one is it? What, was it something unexpected?" "The truth is, I got delayed at preparing, so I was late at getting a place. So in a panic, I thought there was a good position available and jumped in to get ready, right next to the Karlko family. By the time I realized it, the corner was already empty. So, I thought I'd move it. It seems that the Karlko family is also working hard today, so we should change the date." "Nice, well done, Shibi, huh? Time's run short. I put my hands on my ceremonial layers. However, I can't take it off well because of the sweat. Damn it, go ahead. Don't let go of that position. Protect them, even if it means dying. I'll be right there. Are you serious? Shibi says with a gaping mouth. Where will you find a guy who's going to quit here? Giselle, help me take this off. Yes, please leave it to me. Abel. You. What the hell are you doing? My father, who was bowing to the chief, looked at me and screamed. But this is not the time to be concerned about it. I'll cut you across or something later. Chapter 36. 15 years old, 12, you are listening at novelfull.audio. After throwing off my clothes behind, I headed to the trading square with Giselle. Shibi being so close to the crowds, we could easily find him. Shibi was sitting on a carpet made of demon skin and was getting smaller. On the carpet, there is a bag of hemp containing an incense leaf, and a cart for carrying things to be exchanged and received beside it. I look around. It was said that an acquaintance of Shibi's who was helping to take up the place was coming, but I didn't see him. What's up, Shibi? You could have sold it to me first. As I said, Shibi's face has turned red. B. Because, Shibi glanced off to the side as he stammered. I follow the tip of Shibi's gaze. Next to him was a trio led by Noswell. They were putting out what looked like a simple stall out of wood. In front of the stalls, there is a long line of people. Chibi negotiates impatiently and Napo organizes what he has received. They seem to be very busy. The Karlko family does not approve of the magic or as a currency substitute that the chief is trying to infiltrate. The reason that the magic or currency has not been penetrated much since the beginning is largely due to the refusal of the Karlko family and their faction to exchange it for the incense leaf, which is the easiest to carry and has a stable value in this settlement. It seems that the chief and the Karlko family don't get along very well. Because of this, all negotiations were bartering, and each one seemed to take time and effort. I'm sure there is a yardstick of value for each one, but I don't think Napo usually comes to the exchange square. I was dismayed every time I was served something unusual. Noswell sits down, occasionally shouting at the two of them. Sometimes he even yells at his customers. The content wasn't very productive, like advice, it's either, if you've got a problem, then get out. Or, hurry it up. And he often glares at me with a pissed-off look. No, you need to work, too. Those two, they really seem to be having a hard time. Shibi's shrinking seems to be due to the lines that have formed in front of Noswell's stalls. He's not going to look very good because he's trying to get the Karlko family to fight with him head-on. I guess it can't be helped that the initial image is bad. Shibi's acquaintance may have been unable to bear this gaze and ran away. Abel.san, isn't this position a problem? I'm getting a lot of stares at me, of course it is. The reason why this place has been vacant from the start must be because they didn't want to upset the Karlko family in any case, so everyone avoided it. To set up a stall with the same kind of products is like jumping into a fire with oil. Even I would have chickened out and shied away. It's not easy to be the first to take that as a blessing. I'm seeing you in a new light, Shibi. Then it's no good. That's why I suggested we should change the day. Please don't blame it on me now. Shibi, crying, comes around my neck. Stop, because it's really painful. No, I'm just kidding. Let's start the exchange right away. Alright. However, even though it hasn't started yet, I can't believe there isn't a single person in line. Here, there are probably a lot of people gathering for the incense leaf, and I thought it would cause direct damage to the Karlko family. Did it backfire? If you get too close they'll blatantly start harassing and it is clear even to the customers. They were afraid that if they were to line up here they might be noticed by the Karlko family. It was a little shallow, wasn't it? But it's also big when you get hit. I'm not here to earn a little pocket money. I've come to chip away at the power of the Karlko family to keep Giselle out of his hands. It can only be a huge success or a huge failure. I'm going to head home. Giselle, let's go. Sibby, you need to keep the store moving. Hey, hey, hey. You're going to put me in a place like this all by myself again. You want me to start selling in this situation. I was so extremely lonely. I'll be back soon. I've left my preparations at home. I can't do it. I'm afraid my heart will break if I stay here alone any longer. Shibby emphasized the word, alone, and then glanced at Giselle. Well, it can't be helped. Giselle. Yes, brother, what is it? Shibby's face lights up when she overhears me and Giselle's conversation. Go home, and pick up the ordum that I left yesterday. The blue one and the red one. Please leave it to me. Shibby dropped her shoulders in dismay. Giselle rushed off towards the house alone. Sibby looked back at it with a forlorn expression on his face. Wasn't it like Giselle.Chan was left here, and the brother.in.law went to get it that kind of flow? Who's your brother.in.law? Hey, don't give me too much credit. If you run with two autumns, you'll fall down and get stuck on the road. That's right. You can use magic to move them, but it would be dangerous if you had two autumns running around the village. I originally sent Giselle to an autumn that is not supposed to be moved. No gimmicks have been made to enable quick reactions. If a guy like Philo jumps in, there's going to be contact. I stare at Noswell in the back of the stall. Noswell opened his legs and crossed his arms, yelling at his two cronies with a grunt. You know what I mean. It's not a matter of, if you mess up on the exchange, you lose money, or anything like that. I've been told by my father not to move from a set value. No bottom, no top. If you do this at random, you'll be damned. Well, I'd rather be doing this on my own than this. Oh, so you're on your own right now. Apparently, the little guy made a mistake in the negotiations. If that's the case, maybe Noswell should have corrected it right away, but there's no reason for me to interfere. Let's watch with warm, raw eyes. Apparently, Noswell wants to sell a bundle of 5 leaves as the equivalent of a piece of magical beast's fur. It's hard to say for sure because of the discrepancy in value, but in Japan it's about 5,000 yen. This time, the one that the Karlko family is displaying at the stall seems to be a new product, and it seems that they have raised the price significantly from the past. By the way, a bunch of 5 leaves is enough for a day. There are many people who buy them in bundles of about 10 bundles. Napo receives a large number of supplies and piles them into the back of the stall. I'm on the verge of getting a puncture with a replacement before the incense leaf sells out. I don't know what he's going to do with all that money he's saving. Well, I guess it's about time that we started moving. Chapter 37. 15 years old, 13, you are listening at novelfull.audio. Enough time has passed since we started accepting the exchange of incense leaf peeps. There are no people coming. Noswell has drastically lowered the price from what they are selling and advertises that they will accept exchanges based on 2 benair copper, but on the contrary, it may be that they are too cheap to be considered shady. Benair copper is one of the magic or substitutes for money that is recommended by the example chief. In this village, approximately a handful of the size here is treated as equivalent to 200 yen in Japanese yen. In other words, Noswell's incense leaf cost 5,000 yen, and this one's incense leaf cost 400 yen. I didn't think it was a bad idea to gobble it up at a low price. Since price isn't an issue, is it the same if you give away free samples? We have to do something about this. I can't move because I'm afraid of the Karlko family atmosphere. A man approached the stall here. I thought it was only cold and disturbing, but there was no such atmosphere. The man glanced at the line and then let out a huffy sigh. Apparently, Noswell's stalls were slow to negotiate, so they drifted over here out of numbness. If one bundle is 2 benair copper, then can I ask for 4 bundles with this? The man looks at me with a dried chunk of bough tied up with string. I did it. This may turn the tide. Yeah, that's okay. 5 bundles as a bonus, hey. You. I'll remember your face. You know what's going to happen. Noswell stands up and barks at us. The man looked at Noswell, took a bunch of incense leaf to snatch from me, put down a chunk of dried meat and ran away. I told you I'll remember your face. Damn it. I'll make you regret it. Noswell screams, then clicks his tongue and sits wildly in a chair. They got me. He nailed it to me that if I buy an incense leaf from over there, he'll consider me hostile to the Karlko family. Now the hope of that line flow here has diminished considerably. Abel.san. As I thought, it's impossible. Let's pull out. Just like Shibi says, should we move even now? No, but you can't do much damage to the Karlko family if you don't hit the customer base directly. The only thing to do is to persevere here and wait for the turning point. It's all right, Giselle should be able to bring back 2 secret weapons. However, Giselle's return is a little late. I wonder if something happened. That Ordum, what is it? I didn't hear anything about it. One side has the business prosperity magic. To tell the truth, there is no magical basis for the spell, which is a spell for business prosperity. The back of this Ordum was supposed to be carved with a specific magic circle, and I've tried to analyze it. There were symbols and partial encryption that were not in the least meaningful way, and the analysis was extremely difficult. I managed to investigate all the movements and functions of the magic, and discovered the horrible fact that nearly 80% of it was in a form that could not interfere with the magic at all. The remaining 20% of the magic circle was also meaningless, only consumed by bouncing and spinning magic. This is not good. The refrigerator didn't work, so I took it apart and found it was a chest with a light bulb on it. Shine it on, chill it out. There are many such pseudo-magical things happening in this world too. But I love that kind of shady stuff, too. Maybe it has a tremendous power that cannot be understood by the current magic theory. If you think about it, it's quite romantic. Does it have a meaning, that thing? It's better than nothing. I believe it has meaning, don't you? Do you have a problem with that? Brother. I've got it. Just in time, Giselle returned holding the 2 Ordums. Giselle, well done. It sounds like you've been taking your time. Did something happen? I'm very sorry. The truth is, Father caught me to clean up my brother's coming of age ceremony. As for that one, I got Philo.san to help me out and managed to finish it quickly, so don't worry. Oh. Then, I wonder if I'm in the shape of a sister and the granddaughter of the patriarch who threw away the cleaning up of an adult ceremony and ran away. I can imagine my tired father's face. I should apologize to Philo too. I'm sorry. That Ordum, put that in the corners of the carpet. Giselle put the red Ordum on the far left and the blue Ordum on the far right. The red one has the spell of business prosperity. Blue Ordum has the power to interest animals. Originally, it was used as a kind of trap or a decoy in hunting. It's not that the customers don't come because they don't stand out, but rather because they don't come because they stand out. Well, how are you? Giselle glanced around on the carpet, muddying her words. She must have realized that the situation was not good. As you can see, right. I may have licked the influence of the Karlko family a bit. But, when I was cleaning up earlier, Mr. Guriya was advertising it. I also gave away a prototype that I had left out, and it seemed to be well received. They might be here soon. I'm not sure if it's to cheer me up or not, but Giselle speaks up as if she's talking. I see, if that group of people comes, this situation may change. Hey, give me 1 bundle. Yes. Wait, a kappa-headed young man with a grin and a creepy grin. No matter how you look at it, it's no swell. Thank you very much. He finally came to harass me by leaving his own stall out. No, I didn't know that I had succeeded in mass production. I'll have to check later to see who was cooperating. Well, I guess I didn't need to be alarmed at this rate. So, how do you feel about that, Abel? It looks like you put your store at this side to be spiteful, but it's a total waste. Noswell leans back and pulls his face closer to mine. *T, that's just plain annoying. To be honest, I didn't expect to be so miserable. BL.net Shall I turn this kappa into a cigarette butt dump? Just because you're useless at the stall, you don't have to come here to make fun of us, do you? What happened to the easy job that a dog can do with a yelping dog like that? Have you finally been restructured? I also approached his face undaunted by him. Noswell pulled his face away and rubbed his eyes with his sleeve. Apparently my hair got in his eyes. Sorry, I don't have a well-maintained haircut like you. Ha! Don't get crunchy. My incense leaves are the result of my father's inheritance of the Karlko family's traditions and techniques, and he took a long time to sublimate them. If a kid who can't even smoke an incense leaf is getting carried away, it's like this. You could have seen it from the beginning. What, is this a gag? What the hell, you bastard? You're the one who made it hard for us to trade. In the first place, the quality of the incense leaf wouldn't matter when you've only established an exchange with one person. I won't allow you to make fun of the incense leaf that I made while coughing up blood without sleep or resting, even before you've smoked it. Tradition. Technique. To be clear, I can't see the concept of that incense leaf. Why don't you just shift it from a safe mold and wait for a better one to be made? The details are almost a no-brainer. No, I guess it's because the individual differences in Ortum itself are too big to play with. Touching it poorly would make too much of a difference to the individual. Because that's how rough it is. It's clear that they're not happy about supplying the magic. Incense leaves are going to be a living Ortum. If you keep smoking magic from bad feelings and stress, even the leaves will taste bad. Is it a tradition at your place to cheat by forcibly overriding it with a different approach than the original? Why don't you tell your father to start over at the root of things once, Abel.san? Hold it. Hold it. Everyone is looking. It's embarrassing. Shibi feathered me. Let go of me, Squeaky. I'm going to smash his proudest plate. Calm down. Calm down. I understand how you feel. I met Giselle's eyes as she looked at me in a daze. Giselle. Peel Shibi off. Wait, Giselle.chan. You don't have to obey that. Help me stop Abel.san. Wait, really. Don't touch my sides. I'm a little flattered, but later. Please. No matter how much it took, Shibi didn't even flinch. In the meantime, I started to cool off. No, losing your cool will only make the situation worse. Come on, do the street vendors here beat up the customers? Noswell said, taking out the magic or containing the magic circle from his pocket. The Karlko family is not supposed to use any demon or coins, but apparently one of their cronies received them by mistake. He was fussing over it earlier, but I could hear him. If it's a core copper, it's 5 bundles, I said. 1 bundle is all I need, Noswell said, then licked the core copper that he had taken out, sticking it to my forehead. Then Noswell grabbed 1 bundle of incense leaf and pulled away from me with a teasing laugh. I was so angry that my thoughts stopped completely for a few seconds. What have you done to my brother? Let me go, Shibi.san. I can't kill that guy. Giselle blurted out first. Calm down. Calm down, really. Just calm down. If it doesn't go away, you can hit me later, but in the meantime, count to 10 seconds before you get angry. Because that alone makes a huge difference. Nosewell unwrapped and removed the incense leaf and slammed it to the ground. Then, with his foot, he stomped on it again and again and again and again. Mwahahahahahahaha. Nosewell looked back at us lightly and then walked back to his stall with a loud laugh. Oh, I feel so refreshed. Hey, you guys, your hands stopped moving. If you keep going like that, it won't be over by the end of the day, incompetent. For nearly 30 seconds after that, the three of us were speechless. He simply put the killing intent on his gaze and stared at Noswell's back. Chapter 38. 15 years old, 14, you are listening at novelfull.audio. We need to come up with some sort of solution to the current situation. No matter what, we need to prevent Nosewell from attacking, or I can't hold back my bottled up rage anymore. They still don't buy even if it's this cheap, it can't be helped even if I further tamper with the price. The Carlco family's unexpectedly large influence and Noswell's impersonal behavior were a disaster. I didn't think that they would blatantly threaten someone in public. I need a different approach from another direction. I mashed the leaves of the incense leaf with my fingertips and put them into my own kissel. Normally, one piece would be enough, but 3 pieces are thrust in and set on fire with magic. What's the matter, brother? I thought it would attract customers if I fire off a smoke. I am particularly confident in the smell of the incense leaf that I created. Now that he was drawing attention to himself with the power of the blue ordam, even a minor plan like this should have great effect. It won't be a decisive move, but it will shake things up first. I will cause wind with magic, and control the smoke to pass through on the line in the middle. A few people who have been influenced glanced here and began to move, and Nosewell that saw that stopped walking. As I thought, the current stopper is great, but there is an effect. There is no negative effect. Keep it up. If you keep the foundation strong, it will flow at once if the air changes. Because of the other side's poor handling, the lack of progress on the line is causing a lot of people to be irritated. With a little opportunity, there will be a chance to break it down. Another man steps out of line and comes toward us. If one person collapses, the person who follows will appear. However, the man stopped in his tracks as he looked in Noswell's direction on the way. We can't go on like this. I still want something afterwards to give me a boost. I glanced at the Noswell's stall. No, Nosewell.san. I'll just inspect the enemy, and one of his followers, Napo, leaves the stall staggering while snorting. Nosewell quickly grabbed Napo by the neck and pulled him back. Alright, collapse, collapse. However, as I thought, it's not enough. The foundation should be sufficient enough. Just one more thing, I want an opportunity. Just a few seconds. That alone should turn the tide a lot. Oh, here you are. Hey. I can hear Guria's voice. No, it's not only Guria's. Following him, the people that participated in my coming-of-age ceremony show up one after another. My father and the chiefs also there. There are nearly 20 of them. Sell me that incense leaf. I never thought I would see Abel at the exchange square. I thought you have no interest in this kind of thing. Why isn't there a line? Don't tell me you're sold out, hey. You saved my share, right? The whole atmosphere has changed. It's hard to get out if there are only 1 or 2 people, but I think they thought that if there are enough people, they might be able to blend in. Nosewell walks out of the stall with a big stride. Oi. You all know what will happen, please be at ease. There's more to come. I shouted loudly, and the line at the Noswell stall began to crumble. Nearly 1/5 of them moved in one fell swoop. Then, a follow-up appeared. Oi. Don't fuck with me. Oi. I'll remember all your faces. I'll report you all to father. If this many people flowed in, there would be nothing we could do about it. There's no way you can remember all their faces. No one was listening anymore. Nosewell stood there beet red and stunned, being dragged back to his own side by the chibi. Amazing, you can get 10 times the item with the same expense. It's not like they don't even know the value, and the chief's magic ore was also banned. On top of that, I'm nervous, and I'm not making any progress at all. More and more customers are drawn in. Thinking about what happened earlier, it's as if I'm dreaming. In a daze, he called out to me, "Hurry up." I hurriedly received the magic ore and handed over the incense leaf. "Sell me 100 bundles. "No, 200. "Hey, raise it higher." "I won't be able to buy it." "Certainly if they are bought by the 100, they will be gone in an instant. This time we only have about 2,000 bundles." I thought this would be enough, but there are many people here who have incense leaf as currency or assets. Rather than changing the price, it's better to put a limit on the number of pieces you can buy. I want to make it as wide and shallow as possible. "Excuse me, up to 10 bundles per person only, please." One exchange after another is completed. If you don't know the market price of what is brought, you can let the other side's words pass. We don't want to protect the value of the original. I didn't pursue profits that far, but things were going well in that direction too. One after another, meat, fruit, cloth, and pots are piled up behind them. I also have a lot of rare metals that I wanted for alchemy. We didn't have enough space, so we hired a kid and bought about 5 more carpets. I honestly can't stop laughing. I can't bring myself to go hunting for the rest of my life. Just how do I bring it back? No swell.san, it's not good. Let's lower the market price. A 10-fold difference won't do. Unusually, the chibi follower comes out strong in no swell. You're telling me what to do. You Rieta family. That's not the point. If you keep this up, it's going to be outrageous. But, because, no matter what, you have to keep the value at this level, my father said. If I mess with it, my father will be angry. If it didn't sell, it would be out of the question. But. My father, Noswell is getting smaller as his followers yell at him. Some things are just so rare. Just to see his tearful face was worth the effort this time. That ends it. But anxiously, there was no sign of Napo over there. From the looks of it, his 2 cronies may be stronger opponents than Noswell. If they are planning something, we have to be careful. As soon as I said it, people started to smoke it around me. Apparently, they couldn't wait to smell it. Great, it's not like that at all. It's like the things I've smoked before was leaf mold. I can't smoke anything else anymore. I hope it's cheap, though. I've heard the reviews here and there, and more people are joining the queue. The length of Noswell's column and this one was reversed. Those who stayed behind also seem to be anxious about whether they should go here. At this rate, this may not be enough of a number at all. Shibi, go and collect the stuff you're drying. Let's line up the carefully selected and repelled portions at a reduced price. I understand. When they saw our exchange and realized that there were not many left, the line of Noswells came down in a swoon. Finally, there was no one left. Napo's at the back of the line. I thought I couldn't see him, but he was lined up this way. He was holding his own army's incense leaf with a happy expression. Don't tell me you're going to trade with that. Oh, well. It looks interesting, so I'll accept that exchange. It's terrible to betray that smile. Well, in the market, do I have to give out 1 bundle of those and 10 bundles of these? As I smiled and continued to negotiate, I saw a man coming towards me along the line. His age would be around 40. He had a high nose with a face of a sharp impression. He walked quietly, but he seemed somehow intimidating. He had snake-like eyes, and a haircut similar to Noswell's. Suddenly I had a bad feeling about it. I have free time, so I came to check it out. Well done, Noswell. Well, I guess it's a good thing I made the leaves. However, I didn't expect it to stretch this far. Hasn't it become quite lively? No doubt about it. The head of the Karlko family, Noswell's dad. The boss has come out. Noswell is just the dirty rich son, but this man is different. The black rumors in this village are mostly connected to this man. The chieftain also said that he had been done quite nicely. There are probably a few conflicts that he's involved in. I can't let my guard down. Noswell's father walked right up to me. Noswell, you're not used to this sort of thing, but I'm relieved that things seem to be going well. What do you think? How does it feel to try it for the first time? Excuse me, but I'm not Noswell. Noswell's father lowers his gaze and glares at me. He pulls his glasses out of his pocket and stares at me. Apparently his eyes are not very good. He seemed to believe that Noswell was at the end of the procession. Did Noswell ask you to look after the store? Noswell.san is over there. I'm Abel. Abel. Noswell's father turns his attention back to Noswell. Noswell is now looking at the sky with dead eyes and his mouth is open. Not a single customer lined up. Noswell's father, seeing this, seemed to have sensed the current situation and his face was distorted greatly. He turns his gaze back to me. Abel. Don't tell me you're the Abel of the Barek family. Noswell's father exclaims so with a bright red face. Then he looked at Noswell again and let out a high-pitched laugh. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. He claps his hands and laughs as he looks up to the heavens. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha, oh, yeah. Ha 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 ha. Ha. He's gradually becoming a hindrance to the negotiations. I wish he would just go somewhere. As I was wondering if this was a disturbance, Noswell's father's expression changed again. Ha ha ha. Noswell's father presses his own nose. The blood was gushing out. He was so excited that he got a nosebleed. Or rather, it was on my clothes for a bit. Great. Why do these two want to splash their bodily fluids on me? Father Noswell's hands were turning red as they went by. And just like that, he fell to the spot with a bang like a puppet with a broken string. Father. F.A., father. Noswell's scream echoed throughout the exchange square. I'm sure it's just anemia, but I'll use healing magic for it just in case. Chapter 39. 15 years old, 15, you are listening at novelfull.audio. It's been a week since the incense leaf war. Today, I'm heading to the forest with Giselle and Shibi to supply the living Ordum with magic. My home-made incense leaves are not keeping up with the production at all now. However, I've given the chief my own allegorical description of the cultivation of incense leaf. Once the chief has perfected my method of cultivating the incense leaf, he can call out to the entire village and ask for help, and will be ready for mass production at once. However, I said, I didn't think that I needed precise magic up to this point. It seems that it'll still be a long way for that to be possible. The chief had said that he wanted to use this as an opportunity to make the magic or coinage more permissible now. If this can be achieved, this village will be much easier to live in than it is now. Thanks to the fact that many people are now able to afford the low price of the incense leaf peeps, the atmosphere in the village seemed to be better than before. If the mass production system is implemented, I'm sure leftovers will keep coming to me. I don't have to worry my father telling me what to do anymore. I can carve Ordum all day long. I'm happy, everyone's happy. No one has any loss. Karlko. I don't know that name. Hey. Abel. We had just reached the incense leaf field deep in the forest when an angry voice shot up at our backs. When I turned around, Noswell was there. I thought he wouldn't get involved with me anymore because he's been quiet for the past few days, but he showed up. What, do you actually like me? Noswell glares at me with a wrinkle in his face. I look around. Oh, where are the two followers? I thought that it would be the same even if they're here or not, but I still feel lonely when they're gone like this. I wonder if they stopped following him because the influence of the house was gone. I have no end of grudges against Noswell. It started when Mr. Mountain was severely snapped off, then you tried to take Giselle as your wife. At the end, both parent and child rained bodily fluids all over me. I'll have no end of grudges with you. I still don't like this guy. I don't like it, but somehow I'm starting to feel sorry for them. Not really, I don't really have business with you anymore. Well I have. Don't joke with me. Father, you know, he looks like that but his heart is delicate. After that he's been in bed because of the shock. It's your fault. Oh. Even if you tell me that. Then what? Is it good if I go to apologize? Come to think of it, there's a magic that makes you excited, but I've heard it works for therapy when you're depressed. That's what the book says. If you want, I can, stay back. It's going to get worse when you get here. He's been wrapped up in a blanket all day and Abel is making a nightmare out of him. I didn't know if he was that mentally weak. The chief also said, the Karlko family has been eerily quiet, I wonder if they're up to something, but he hadn't yet fully recovered from his mental damage. Apparently, the last ruckus was too much for him. If I can no longer cultivate incense leaf, then what is the Karlko family supposed to do now? You've got to be kidding me. Even if you say that. You've been having too many good times. Since the chief should be able to expand the size of this incense leaf field, why don't you also help supply the living Ordum with magic? Or you could go hunting like the others. You want me or Dad to be the chief's lackey. My dad is a lot better than that guy. And hunting is only something a fool would do. I'm not one of those guys, you know. Grumble. Doesn't the Karlko family have enough assets to live and play for the rest of their lives? No, maybe most of the assets they possess are incense leaves. There's no way the Karlko family is saving up magic or coins. What's more, because of this, we have a lot of unsaleable garbage on top of that. Now I'm seriously feeling sorry for him. The incense leaves that are in your house, should I trade some of it? Now that you are in advantage, you're now feeling full of yourself. You've really made me angry. I'll show you the power of the Karlko family. This is not good. I believe Noswell was touting that he could beat the greater bear. He's desperate now. You never know what he's going to do. Oh light, draw! At the same time of Noswell's yell, a bullet of fire was shot from the magic circle. On the Noswell's side. Oh. Hot. It's hot. The fire battered Noswell stumbles around, screaming. A magic circle is like a blueprint that you give to a spirit. If it is completed late, a third party can thus alter some of it and change the outcome. It seems that Noswell was just going to get stuck and make a threat. The magic itself wasn't very powerful. It was a level that would be quelled if Noswell rolled around. That's good. I could have just scratched out the base of the magic circle, but I gave it back to Noswell impatiently because I was on the spur of the moment. This is where we would have been in big trouble if Noswell had used magic to try to kill us in earnest. Noswell fell to his knees in dismay after the fire was out and stopped moving. His shoulders shaking slightly. Why this, this, he's going to cry. I'm sorry. But that magic circle didn't look like it had been built very well. The power was definitely toned down, but the details weren't very clean. The fact that he could beat the greater bear may have been just a pretense. In the first place, if it was encrypted, there would be no easy way to redraw the magic circle. When I use magic, I make sure to encrypt the battlements. I don't know, should I leave him alone now? Just then, there was a clunking sound behind me. When I turned around, I saw Mr. Mountain number 2 and number 3 standing up. It is the guardian Ordum of the incense leaf field. Those two bodies have large, articulated legs attached to them. It was quite intimidating when they're standing up. This is not good. It seems that Noswell's use of fire magic was taken as a hostile action. I know that Mr. Mountain number 2 and number 3 are moving with the least use of magic, but, because of its small amount of magic, it's hard to give it orders from the outside. No, Noswell. Come on, stand up. Hurry. Noswell waved away my outstretched hand. Annoying. Stay back. Go away. Don't look at me. Looking down on me. Heading to Noswell, Mr. Mountain number 2 and number 3 make a mad dash. It was as if they were trying to avenge number 1. Stop. Stop. I scream, but it doesn't listen to me at all. Maybe I should remake it after all. Noswell staggered up and rolled away several times. Afterward number 2 and number 3 followed. You can't replace your belly with your back. It may interfere with the detailed functions, but the only way to stop it is by overriding the magic and forcing it to take a different move. I waved my wand towards Mr. Mountain and the others. Dance, puppets, 2 lights hit Mr. Mountain and the others. Mr. Mountain number 3 stopped in his tracks, turned around, and leaped to the light. He covered for number 2 and received 2 lights. Number 3 stopped moving as the order to stop was overridden. Number 2 cheerfully went after Noswell, and soon he was out of sight. I don't think I can keep up with them on my own 2 feet. Well. He'll be okay, yeah. Mr. Mountain number 2 and number 3 only have the ability to protect other ordoms with their bodies, and the ability to relentlessly chase after external enemies. He went after them leisurely, but when he caught up, he could only wave his arms exaggeratedly and threaten them. Mr. Mountain is harmless to humans and animals. Chapter 40. 16 years old, 1, you are listening at novelfull.audio. I chisel away the tree and paint them. A large box made of wood is created. The top part has a face on it. This too falls into the ordom in the broadest sense. Once I get the wheels that I made with Shibi yesterday, it will be complete. Phew, it's done. It's a 4-wheeled wooden carriage, named Ordom Trolley. In this village, the value of vegetables is high. It's because of the geology that makes it hard to cultivate as a field, and because of the magic weed that ruins the field so quickly. Now that I have some money to spare thanks to the incense leaf, I decided to build a tractor to develop my farming business. This Ordom Trolley is the first step. He is planning to improve this more and more, and eventually build an Ordom tractor that can cut grass, mix dirt, and even shoot magic beams. First of all, I want it to be operable by anyone as long as they charge the magic. This is the first difficulty. I had a concept for a long time, but I had given up on it because I didn't think I could get the materials at all. But I can get a lot of rare ores now. Capital is justice. This. This really works, doesn't it? You can ride it, can't you? Giselle said excitedly, approaching the Ordom Trolley. Oh, you can ride and move. Even Giselle, you've seen me turning the wheel with magic during the experimental phase, haven't you? Wow. It's amazing. I'd love to ride it. However, in a world where there is magic, I didn't expect she would be surprised with just a trolley. You can find these scattered about on Earth. Nevertheless, it's not like I don't understand the feeling. I'm honestly a little excited about a ride on wheels that I haven't seen in a while. It's been 16 years since I've seen it, and I made it myself. I feign equanimity in order to maintain my dignity as a brother, but I feel like dancing right now. I would love to live up to Giselle's expectations right now, but I can't do that. Just a little more, I still need to perform a safety checks after all. How much longer? I wish 1 more week. There might be an unexpected blind spot. I see, you don't have to look so disappointed. His mind wavers for a moment, but he shakes his head to dismiss the thought. Don't let your guard down. How many car accidents have there been in previous lives? The reason I died in the first place was due to a car accident, for example. Much less, this autumn trolley is in the process of being adjusted. As long as you don't go too fast, you'll be fine, but accidents are the result of such carelessness. As long as you don't speed up, you'll be fine, but then you'll ease up and say, this much is fine, a little more is fine. I'm confident that if Giselle is screeching and giggling beside me, my mind will loosen up more and more. Okay, brother, let's speed up some more, may even happen. If anything happens to Giselle, I'll regret it for the rest of my life. We'll get Giselle on board much later. For a while, I wrote it on my own, going through a lot of trial and error, finding out the flaws, and applying them. However, Giselle's obsession with the autumn trolley to this extent was surprising. I have an image that men like this kind of thing more. Shibi used to stare at the paper with drooling eyes when she saw the plans for completion. By the way, Shibi said that today is the day that they pray to the spirit of their arty family ancestors. It's like a Bon festival or a Buddhist service in a previous life. Since today was the scheduled completion date of the autumn trolley, Shibi was trying to skip it by any means possible. In fact, in the morning, Shibi came over here. Abel.san, Abel.san. I managed to use autumn as bait to outsmart my father and get out. Is what he said, but when I found Guriya, who was leading the way to my house, his face suddenly changed into a sobbing face. Apparently, Guriya was one better. As it was, Shibi was dragged away by Guriya. I turned to face Shibi's house and gently lowered my head. Brother, is something the matter? No, I figured Shibi would have wanted to be there for the completion. We'll give him a ride as soon as we're sure it's safe. It's dangerous to let them run in the settlements because stray Philo might jump out at them. Maybe I'll use magic to lighten it up, push it and carry it near the forest, then use magic to move the wheel. I think it would be better if I could run it slowly and move it, but I just finished it today. There may be something unexpected. It's never too much to be alarmed about. Let's go there with safety first. But there's one problem. Even if it was lightened by magic, if I was walking while pushing this trolley, I would run out of strength on the way and fall down. Should I ask Giselle? However, my dignity as a brother, shall I give up my dignity in this direction now? It's too late for me because I'm powerless. I even tried to do a little bit of strength training and stuff to get better, but I was literally a 3-day shyster. Giselle is always happy to do this when I ask her for help. I'm happy to be able to rely on Giselle, too. In order to deepen the relationship between siblings, it is important to rely on them in moderation. Brother. What is it? After you're done with safety confirmation, please let me ride it first. Before Phiro.san. Before Shibi.san rides it. Is it not possible? Don't worry, that's what I plan on doing. It's just that it's small for the wheels, and it might be a little cramped for 2 people to ride it. This autumn trolley is completely magic controlled. In the future, I'd like to be able to operate it by anyone as long as it's activated, but right now I'm the only one who can drive it. Inevitably, I'm going to be on board. No, it's fine. Rather, it could be even narrower. Giselle says as she grabs my clothes tightly. You're a little too close. Is that so? She looked a little disappointed. It looks like there's still some way to go before Giselle separates with his brother. I'm happy when I see Giselle acting this way, but at the same time, I feel uneasy. Giselle will soon be 14 years old. At this rate, she may not be able to leave her brother even after the coming age ceremony. After I get back from adjusting the autumn trolley. I've taken a look at Giselle's eyes. Maybe I'll consult my father. I've been thinking about talking to him about it someday, but I've been postponing it.